it from. That's how we take it. Now for the second evaluator, BTM Vijayalakshmi. This is growing into the 21st century point, which I want to fix on to Vijayalakshmi was when you choose not to focus on what is missing from our lives, but are grateful for the abundance that is present, you experience heaven on earth.
Yeah.
When you choose not to focus on what is missing from our lives, but are grateful for the abundance that is present, we experience heaven on earth. When I read this, the person who came to my mind was DTM Vijayalakshmi. Because whenever I see her bubbling with energy, she spreads so much of energy to all of us. I have seen her taking classes in my own organization. She starts so bombastically, and that day goes on really, really wonderful. That's the kind of energy she spreads across. And even now, even after it's a gap of around 2 years now, people always remember about Vijayalakshmi. Because she spreads wherever she's, that experience which she shares, she spreads that heaven on earth, experience of heaven on earth. Now she's going to evaluate, she's going to be the second evaluator for DTM Bala's speech. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good morning, everyone, and a special morning to the speaker, Bala. Well, basic research is like shooting an arrow in the air, wait where it lands, and then paint having it as the target. And I think that's exactly what you did, Bala, because you took your experience from where you attended a session, you brought it to us this morning, and you presented it to all of us. Very well done. Now, a good speech is something that I can remember and relish. And here are a few things that I could always remember and relish when I think about this particular research and presentation speech of you, Bala. Number one is an intriguing title. And when you said, do you know the value? I was honestly thinking you're going to talk about in terms of pounds or dollars or something, or maybe get more personalized and talk about core values, personalities, and all of that. But here you are giving us more than what we actually thought you would provide to us. A very intriguing title, and it stood true to what you had to present in the later part of the speech. Very well done. A good engaging speech or a good engaging speaker is the one who could keep the audience engaged along with the speech. And you did that brilliantly by asking questions here and there to the audience. And the first start of the speech, when you asked questions to us as to what makes you high or what is that something that you love to do you get frustrated or we could easily see some hands up and people responding to you immediately to those easy, relatable questions. Very well done. Asking questions, keeping your audience engaged with your content. And finally, the usual drawback of a technical speech or a research and presentation is when it is super technical and the relatability becomes a bit low when it comes to understanding from the audience perspective. But today, what you took from the entire presentation is a very simple thing put in a layman terms as to high versus low value. Highs are the ones that you like and do, and lows are the ones that you don't like to do, and its associated parameters. Very simple, easy, relatable, very well done on all these top 3 parameters. Now, every speech has got a room for improvement, and here is what I felt, especially for this research and presentation. Number one, though you had a lot of presentation taken from the meeting that you attended, what is in it for me is always a question. And I would have loved if you had shared the questionnaire with the Mirakis before today's meeting. If we would have answered the questionnaire, we would have analyzed what is our highs and lows. I would have completely comprehended what you were speaking for the entire 5 to 7 minutes. So if you would have shared the questionnaire pre-hand, that would have really, really helped. When it comes to research and presentation, the only thing that I'm looking for is a citation, source, numbers, and all of that were missing to a greater extent in today's meeting. It was there, but it was not obvious. So overall, you had an amazing title, questions, and the high versus low to keep the audience engaged. Remember to share the question to better relatability and make sure sizes and sources are there to enjoy the speech. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
It was really wonderful. Without much preparation, and immediately she's done it. That's always Vijay always. Now moving on to the master evaluator. When I talk about, when I thought about our master evaluator, it was DTM Bagri. This particular point of growing into the 21st century came into my mind. The guiding system should be alert and careful because he's one person. Ring up and give a talk to give a ring to him and ask him, Badri, why don't you take up this role, that role? He will always tell, no, boss. Just to be a master evaluator because he's always very alert and careful. And at the same time, he has a kind of a cool attitude, whether winning and losing, because winning and losing are part of life. That is also one more point. Winning and losing are part of life, and the guiding system should be alert and careful. These are these 2 points which I thought I will fix it on Badri. And Badri is here to do the master evaluation for today's 2 evaluators. Over to you, Badri.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gopinath. Thank you, Meraki and my evaluators. Okay, coming on to Satish's evaluation. Satish, the first thing that I really loved about the way in which you evaluated was that you gave the confidence to the speaker that you really listened to his speech, like citing the exact names of the citations that he had done, and pretty much giving him the confidence that, hey, you know what, I listened to your speech, and that's why I'm giving this feedback as a buddy. And your opening was really good, and it brought, and the way in which you connected and you talked to the speaker was brought credibility. You had the acronym of GIFT, but one thing I realized when I connected with Bala's speech and your evaluation was, most of the times the evaluator gets influenced by the by the speech that they are evaluating. In this case, Bala's speech was full of points, always on all about analytics and technical parts, and your speech went more on the technical part and too many parts. You had 3 parts for the GIFT, G, and then I. You had a couple of points, and then F and D you had to rush through. One recommendation in this case would be for a highly technical speech where it has too many things, summarize it. My recommendation would be to summarize to one single theme, either on content or delivery, and then touch upon the others and leave it as a rest. For example, in case of content, if we have to take on content, we could have said, hey, you had the PPT, but you started the PPT presentation with slide number 5. I was anxious that it was not there, or something like that. And then if you want to pick on delivery, you can say like, hey, your speech was totally analytical. You could have added the emotional quotient, because in emotional speech, analytics gets missing. And this, so you could stick on to one single theme, either on content or delivery, and so that you can get yourself disassociated with the flow of the speaker. That was something that I could recommend. Moving on to Vijay's speech. Okay, this was like, I really admired the way in which you had the impromptu speech, Vijay. And for a person like me who takes in a speech, writes detailed notes, and then correlates, and then orders everything, and then writes whole sentences, not even hints. The way in which you came up with the impromptu evaluation, and that too not missing the mark, was like kudos, thank you, and I have to. I really enjoyed it. You connected the broad strokes of the title, content, and delivery, and even though if I step back, they were generic feedback, but they were aptly connected and correlated with the speech. It was more like you had a list of things to say on this side, both on the positives and the negatives, and then you had a template or like that stencil spot, and you applied the speech on it and you gave it off. That is one thing that I had to take back from your evaluation. I don't have any feedback other than that, but that's the one thing that I take back from your evaluation. Over to you, Modi.
It was cool, Badri, the master evaluator of Meraki. Every time he comes out with immediate, I really wonder how come he could able to grasp it and come out with evaluation for 2 evaluators. That's really wonderful. Always, Badri is cool and a person who is a winner always. Fantastic. Now moving on to the next thing, we have a report from timer, or should we go for voting? Utatan, Ashok?
Yes, sir, both. Fine, yeah.
Timer's report. is ready?
Yeah, I'll start with the timer report.
Okay. So when I talk about Utatan, today's timer, the point of moving into the growing into the 21st century, which came into my mind was the guiding system must start early. For growing into the 21st century, the guiding system, whatever system we have, should start early. And the person who came to my mind was Utatan, because I believe that he would have started his Toastmaster journey at the age of 12 or 13. I don't know. Because when I came into Meraki, the youngest person whom I saw was Utatan. He was not married at that time, and he was really, that's the reason why I felt he has grown to this extent in Meraki. And I wish that he should always remain a very young person and continue to entertain us. So his system started very early, and today he is the timer. Over to you, Putatan, for your report, timer's report.
Thank you, sir. I think this is the first time for a timer I am getting this quick introduction. Now I'll move on to the timings. So for the management book review, Toastmaster Geeta took 7 minutes 46 seconds. And for the prepared speech session, Bala took 18 17 seconds. And I'll move on to the TT speaker. Ashok took 1 minute 10 seconds. Priya took 1 minute 17 seconds. Badri took 1 minute 17 seconds. Vijay took 1 minute 56 seconds. Satish took 50 seconds. Kopna took 1 minute 19 seconds. And Geeta took 1 minute. And myself, I also took 1 minute.
1 minute 3 seconds.
1 minute 3 seconds. Thank you. Sorry, I mistakenly said Priya took 1 minute 17 seconds. I think someone spoke for Priya, right?
Yeah.
Who is that person? I'm sorry. Next to Ashok, who spoke? Second person.
Badri, yeah? Next to Ashok.
Yeah, next to me, I think Badri spoke.
Okay, sorry, that's a duplicate. Sorry. And when it comes to evaluation, Satish took 3 minutes 19 seconds. Vijay took 3 minutes 20 seconds, and Badri took 3 minutes 25 seconds. And that is the timer report. Now I'll open the poll for the best TT speaker and best evaluator and best role player as well. Thank you. I'm launching the poll for best role player. Thank you. I'm launching the poll for best evaluator. Thank you. Over to you, Modi.
Thank you very much, timer, Utatan. And we have grammarian reports, which is to be delivered by Ashok.
So thank you so much, sir. Today we had a wonderful meeting. There were a lot of good usages, especially I loved the frog metaphor that was used in that book. It is a great metaphor. So every book that was most sold was always remembered by a metaphor. Who moved my cheese? It takes cheese as a metaphor. And here it is frog as a metaphor. And this word ugliest frog, the frog itself is ugly, and there is one more, ugliest frog is a great adjective. And the other good usage is the word inseparable. That is something, a negative word. It cannot be separated. It is different. These are the words that we commonly use, but the word inseparable made a lot of impact in me, because that's a negative form of a word creates that impact and punch. So we should find the equivalent negative word and we should start using it. And inseparable is a great usage I learned today. And not so good usages, there's one word by name, this deliberation. It was used in the wrong context. Deliberation is more about thinking, but here it was used in the context of speaking. So I think that is one that we could do better. Other than that, I didn't see anything in any other not so good usages. But the word discern was used by speaker DTM Bala. So discern used only by DTM Bala. Overall, it was a fantastic meeting. Over to you, TM Modi, Toastmaster Gopinath, sir.
And Uttatan, are we having a vote for best tag out there?
Thank you.
So dear Merakis, we had a wonderful meeting today. And it's, I believe it's a Deepavali gift from each one of us to every one of us. We had a cracking session. And personally speaking, growing in the 21st century, even though I am retired from service, I think it has not come to an end. I have lots and lots of things to share. Whatever I hear from each and every one of you, even whenever I discuss over telephone, I always carry something. I share it along with all my children. I share it with my wife. I share it with whomever I interact. That's a kind of learning every time I interact with Merakis, particularly, more particularly. But whatever we read, whatever we come across, whatever new things we read on a daily basis, there are certain fundamental things which are always omnipresent, which are applicable for all the times. And this is one few things which I learned, which I could summarize. Living is very simple. Loving is also simple. Winning is simple again. Then what is the difficulty? Being simple is very difficult. So if only we could be simple and a loving person, winning is guaranteed, and we can make a hell out of heaven wherever we are. With these few words, thank you very much for the opportunity provided to me. And I wish you, every one of you, a very happy Diwali. And thank you very much. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you so much, TM Modi Gopinath sir. You brought in the mood of the festival already with a great opening and a great reminder of their wishes for Diwali. And festive season is something that we always look for, because this is one time when we can all get together as family, friends, and exchange sweets and greetings, and share a lot of experiences and have a good joke. because it's almost 18 months since we met people, and now things are opening up. Yesterday I had been to office. There are a lot of things when people meet. It is a great way to the energy that it brings when we start meeting people. Earlier I was not recognizing that, but now I see the difference. Because prior to that, as Toastmaster Gopinath sir rightly said during his TT session, I used to be a very lone warrior. I used to sit in a corner and then think too much and not go venture out. But after this lockdown, I started feeling the energy that we get by meeting people and talking to them. This is a great lesson I learned in this 18 months, especially when it comes to fostering team environment. Um, in any project, right? In any, not just IT, just any project, even the Toastmasters, when we get together in an event with multiple people, the energy that we get is something that is that cannot be explained in words. And I would love to have I would love to start having in-person meetings once all this settles down. Maybe we will soon start to roll out a poll asking who all would like to join us for an in-person meeting again, so that we can start planning for it well ahead of time. Because all corporates are starting to open up, schools are opening, which is a great sign. With that, I think we should all get back to the regular mode. I hope things settle down and we all get back to that normal mode. Today's meeting is yet another meeting, though it's virtual. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I look forward to every Toastmaster meeting for that one reason, because there is so much to learn from each other, but just by listening to each other. In a corporate setup, there is so much of there is so much of attention that is lacking. When someone speaks, we already started composing our response in the mind as to how to respond. But Toastmasters is one forum where I learned the listening skills the most. Especially by listening to people like DTM Vijay and Badri. When they actually do an evaluation, they get into that flow state, as they call it. What is the flow state? The flow state is something like you simply get absorbed into that, and you never know what is going on around you. When they listen to a speaker for evaluation, they get into that flow state, and this is something like that. In the philosophical word, they call it as in the higher level of meditative state, where you lose awareness about the environment and you pay 100% attention to the speaker, right? I learned that only from the evaluators like DTM Vijay, Badri, and off late Satish is starting to become one with his win in the division. And I wish all I wish him all best in the next levels of contest. I learn a lot by listening to these people rather than reading any book. Of course, there are a lot of books to read, but listening is a great way to learn. And I learned this from Toastmasters journey. It is 10 years since I started Toastmastering. And every Toastmaster meeting has been so energizing. To pull together a meeting, though it takes a lot of effort, but at the end of the meeting, for the next 6 hours, I feel so elated that we were able to meet and learn something. I hope the feeling is mutual, because we all learn from each other, and that is the setup of Toastmasters. Hope we start to have in-person conferences, because conference is another place where I learned so much. Especially the organizing skills. I still remember the Green Park conference, Vijay, reverberations, where you were the conference chair, and the way you were running here and there, I'm sure you would have learned plenty of things, especially on the leadership skills, as to how to pull together things to make things happen. It is not a joke at all to run a conference of that size. And in a professional setup, when we want to organize something in our corporate setup, such experiences come very handy. The way the planning happens, right? For a conference, the planning happens months in advance, and every nitty gritty is planned. And as always with any project, when we started execution, nothing goes as planned, but still we come together as a team, we figure out some alternative arrangement, and we make things happen. And that is exactly what happens in corporate setup as well. And Toastmasters is one platform where we experiment and learn, and this is a great place to practice and learn. With that note, Toastmaster Putatan, probably will go do a quick round of feedback. Is there any feedback about this meeting today? Is there anything that you want to share? Yes, sir. Please. Oh, Sundaraman, sir, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, sorry, I could not join with video because there was a heavy power cut here from morning 5:30. So just now I got power. I could not take up any role today. So even Putatan asked, I said there was a clash. Okay, today I want to give a feedback, not about today's meeting, not even about Meraki, but since some of the decision makers are part of our club, I want to bring it to the attention of the members. So actually, when the area level contest was happening, so there were some procedural lapses were there, right? For example, one of the contestants, he was having a club banner at the back, right? And immediately after this speech, I brought it to the notice of chief judge as well contest master, and they never paid any attention. And in fact, the chief judge brushed aside. She said, "I'll take care. I am the chief CJ, and I'll take care." I said, none of the judges are from the home club of their member. So it is not that about the winning of a person, or it is not personal. So it is about the procedural lapses. Then since the CJ and the contest master, they are not paid any attention, then I took it to all our office bearers, district officers who are, in fact, our club has got the unique distinction of having 3 district officers, area director, division director, and PQD. I took it to all of them, right? So starting from area director, and then division director, PQD. But unfortunately, none of them, they have come back to me with a response. Now, we talk a lot on listening skills, but it should be applied in life, right? So it is not within listening to the speeches alone, right? So when member is raising a concern, it is courtesy to come back, right? Come back and then say, even he can say, no, it is the addition of the CJ, so we cannot do anything. So sorry, the chapter is closed. It's okay. I'm okay with that kind of response. And because of these kind of incidents, somehow I feel that the entire Toastmaster framework, participation, enthusiasm, everything is coming down. So which is also evident in the attendance of all club members. So since the club officers are from Meraki, I want to bring it to this notice. Nothing against Meraki or today's meeting. So it is a general observation, so that everyone will take it these things in a serious manner, so that the spirit and enthusiasm can be enhanced, maintained. That's it. Thank you.
Sure. So thank you for the feedback, sir. This is one way to give candid feedback so that we can start improving. So we will take it up, sir, and then we will come back to you with a response to you, sir. Any other feedback from anyone? Yeah, yes, Priya, please go ahead.
Very good morning, Miracles. And first of all, I would like to say or apologize for the mistakes what happened in the area level. Sorry about that, sir. So sorry about not coming back to you and explaining the things. So we will try not to happen. Let's make this in the future events as well. We'll take most care on every aspects of information that to be conveyed to each and every member's query. So, and we will not make it happen in the next level of contest, the division of the district. So we will take the responsibility and look forward on this kind of aspect. So sorry for what happened, and we will not repeat the same in future. So that was a learning for me. Thank you so much, sir. And yeah, coming back to today's meeting. So it was really, really wonderful. I know that number of members is not the matter. It's about the energy and the passion and the commitments what people have is matter most. So that is what I felt in with regarding to today's meeting. And The first thing I really loved is about having two evaluators on one speaker. I've seen this practice in one another club, and I thought to share this kind of a practice to our club, and I forgot. And Gobinath sir, that was a very good idea, on the spot idea of having two evaluators. But the thing is that we should have this, we should keep this in mind prior to our meeting, and we can make this as a practice so that evaluators won't get that shock at the moment when we are asking them to evaluate the other speaker. So let's do it as a practice and inform all our Meraki's that we are going to have this kind of a practice here forward. And so that is one aspect. And yeah, I don't know like whether this table topics will give this much of an energetic speeches from all the speakers. And right, so Gobinath sir said like always we used to think about ourselves, what we are going to talk or what we did in that particular age, and this is somewhere we tried something different and use our imaginative skills to think about the other person, what they might have done. So that was a good point, sir, and I really enjoyed everything, and as expected there are some speakers who performed it really well, and I really loved that session completely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and over to you, presiding officer Ashok.
Thank you to Toastmaster Priya. So that yes, Toastmaster Geeta, please go ahead.
I just want to give a personal feedback, the changes that is happening in me, Mirakis. Though like I've given speeches in office, I talk and all those, but when coming to Toastmasters, my stomach will have butterflies. My heartbeat would go high. I don't know the reason why. And I've spoken to my mentors also. I've shared with Vijay also. Like for me, after going through that script, even though I've written it, it would go to my memorize mode, but not speaking casually. And last time DTM Jain also shared, when we speak from our heart, we do not stumble much and all those. I wanted to implement that. And there was a feedback given by DTM Karthik as well that the content is too heavy. So I thought, okay, for this book review, I'm not going to prepare much, but there is some preparation needed, but I'll speak from my heart. Make it very simple. And I tried attempting that, and I felt relaxed. When I when I presented, I didn't have much stumbling factor because it all came from my heart, and it was very simple and felt confident, which made me come out of that heartbeat and all those. So thank you, Merakis, for listening to me and giving such a platform where I can test and improve on myself. This is not on my speaking skills and all those. This applies to families also, right? When you interact with people, you cannot be speaking so fast with so many contents. Nor we need to make people understand what we need to talk. So thank you for the learning platform, team. I want to share my personal growth.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Geeta. Thanks for sharing your experience. Anyone else wants to give a feedback?
Maybe, I will echo with Geeta just to give you kind of a additional few cents from my side, Geeta. Even on the day of area contest in the morning, you know, though I was preparing myself for about 90 minutes since 7:30 to 9, I had a feeling I will quit at 9. You know, I'll say some reason I'll quit. So you are not alone. You know, at every stage, at every year, you know, everybody has that. That will only go away when we face it. So I faced it, and I will face it in future as well. Thank you. Over to you, Ashok.
Thanks, Satish. Who are we ready with the results? Let's go ahead. All right, here comes the doodle from the Toastmaster Jayanti on the book Eat That Frog. Thank you, Toastmaster Jayanti. Best tag role player, timer, Ashok.
Grammarian Ashok. Sorry.
Grammarian Ashok. Thank you. Thank you. Best role player, TMOD, Toastmaster Gopinath sir. Thank you so much. And best TT speaker award goes to DTM Vijay. Congrats, Vijay. And the best evaluator for today goes to DTM Satish. Congratulations, Satish. Thank you. And there was only one speaker today, so we skipped the voting for the speech.
But he is the best speaker.
He is always the best. Thank you, Bala, for gracing us with your presence today. Thank you so much. As sir, you have your hand raised, DTM Sundaraman, sir.
Previously.
No, I am done.
Okay. Thank you so much. Is there any? Yes, Bala, you had a point.
Yeah, I want to share something to honor this team. Actually, Toastmaster helped me to accelerate in my corporate journey. It took almost 26 years for me to reflect my name and my picture in the corporate world, especially in my company. And I'm sharing this screen, which was released yesterday. I'm very much, I have more debts to pay to all the Toastmasters and the Toastmasters fraternity, especially Chennai Wordsmiths and Meraki. So I graduated there and post-graduated here. So it's all because of, you guys. You don't know how much value added through giving speeches, through displaying or portraying your leadership skills. Through observation, you can see the screen. It's leadership of continuous improvement. And I was with Site until I joined Toastmasters. When I moved from a leadership role to an individual contributor where I didn't have any direct reportees from 2017 onwards, I learned how to influence. I was craving for how to influence others, how to bring change through others on whom we don't have any direct controls, right? So it's very easy to nudge the reportees, not the other people, right? That is where Toastmasters helped me a lot. The conferences which we are taking, the role play which we are taking, all those things, definitely that will reflect in some other way. Don't think that, you will not think, I'm saying that mostly people will think that, why I should do this, why I should do contest master, what it is for there. For me, for example, I'll be reading the script and presenting it, what is there for me. It's not that. The inhibitions will go off, hesitations will go off, and you try to influence, you try to be agile, you try to be, customize yourself based on the audience. These are all will help a lot. And the feedback which we are getting, for example, today PowerPoint has to have so many words and so many lines. I know that 6 by 6. Today I learned 4 words and 7 lines should not exceed. So these are all helping, right? So it's reflecting. Just I thought, it's sudden thought. I didn't plan it while talking about the journey and all. I thought of sharing this. It may energize, and also my sincere gratitude to each one of you here in Meraki, and also the entire Toastmaster fraternity. Thank you very much. And just I want to share. This is not about bragging. This is about sharing my gratitude. This is
absolutely, Bala. It's such a pleasure to know that we are making strides on the professional lives, which is fueled by Toastmasters. And what does BB stand for, Bala?
Black belt.
Ashok. Bala, there has to be an education session for Six Sigma.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Okay.
Actually, this activity B is Toastmasters, right?
Okay.
And activity A is professional life. Please keep in mind that is my learning, because Toastmasters will take your time off. Always activity B should be activity B, activity A should be activity A. That is also a learning through Toastmasters journey. It's so energizing. It's so receptive. So we would be dissolving ourselves into Toastmasters much, and we'll leave. There are potentials. So let's be very cautious as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Bala, for sharing your experience. With that, it was a fantastic meeting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I wish you all a fantastic Diwali season. Get together, but be safe, stay safe, get together with your family and friends. And I wish you all a fantastic Diwali. Our next meeting is on 13th of November, Meraki meeting number 122 at 7 a.m. I look forward to seeing you all in that meeting. Till then, I adjourn meeting number 121. Thank you so much.
Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali, sir.
Happy Diwali. Safe Diwali. Bye.
Stay safe, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Happy
Thank
Diwali.
you.
Guys, can we stay back for one?
Bye-bye.
quick
Good day.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.